What's up guys, Kool-Aid here, and today we are going to be doing a loadout video for the Combat Medic. Now before I get started, just like to say that you can change a lot of different things in a Medic loadout and they will work just fine. You can change the primary weapon, the suit slot, what grenade you're going to use, and even the utility slot. There's a lot of good options for the Combat Medic. The one that we're going to talk about today is going to be a little bit more combat oriented as opposed to healing oriented. However, with this loadout, you'll have absolutely no problem when the time comes when you are needed to stop and just heal up your teammates or revive your teammates. This loadout will work perfectly fine for that as well. So having said that, I do call this loadout the one simply because it's the only loadout, the one and only loadout that I ever use for Combat Medic. I will switch up the primary weapons a little bit, which I'll talk about in a second, but this is the only loadout that I ever use, just because it is good in all situations and it does fit my playstyle a little bit better as being a more aggressive, a more combat-oriented type player when I do play Medic. So let's talk about that primary weapon. You're going to see me using a Carnage BR the entire time, the entire video. And for you VS and TR guys, you're obviously not going to have this option. But a Carnage BR is just a high rate of fire, good close to medium quarters type weapon that's going to have really good hip fire, and that's why I like it. That's why I use it most of the time when I'm playing Medic. However, in a perfect situation, if you actually have multiple weapons unlocked for your Combat Medic already, you could actually just copy and paste this loadout aside from the primary weapon and fill up multiple loadout slots and then just change the primary weapon, keep everything else the same. But the main thing is just to choose a weapon that's most comfortable for you. Now, I do love the Carnage BR in most situations, but I will switch out to a shotgun from time to time. And in bigger open field type battles, you might even want something like the NS11, or even your starter weapon is going to be better than these high rate of fire ARs. But mainly you just want to choose something that you're comfortable with, something that's good for the situation, and something that you like to use. Like I said, this loadout is not weapon specific. And as far as the secondary weapon, your pistol, again, not going to be weapon specific. I'm not even going to go into which one I would recommend because it just doesn't matter for this loadout. You're just going to want to, again, choose something that you're comfortable with, something that you enjoy using. So now that we have the interchangeable things out of the way, let's talk about what actually defines and makes this loadout what it is. First thing we'll talk about is the suit slot. I'm going to be using the advanced shield capacitor. And the reason I'm using that is the same reason I like to use it on any certain class. Basically, it's going to allow you to stay in the fight more often. A medic with advanced shield capacitor is the only class in the game that can be at 1 bar of health and be completely regenerated shield wise and health wise within 6 seconds without ever having to use an outside source such as a med pack or another medic. I love that. It's going to allow you to either stay in combat more, stay shooting more, or even if you're in full on heal or revive mode, it's going to allow you to keep doing that just more frequently without less downtime, without having to hide behind cover and wait for that shield to regenerate that much less. And another beautiful thing about the advanced shield capacitor is it's only going to cost you 341 certs to fully max out. The cheapest suit slot in the game, and it is well worth it. Since they buffed it, it's just one of my favorite suit slots overall, and it fits a really aggressive playstyle, which this loadout is focused on. Next, we'll talk about the grenade slot, and I'm going to be using a frag grenade for this loadout. The reason is pretty obvious. For a more aggressive combat-oriented medic, frag grenade makes perfect sense. On the flip side of that, you can actually use frag grenades to help revive teammates. You can kind of use them to shield enemies if you have to get into a tight spot and pick up that fallen teammate, like I said. I do this quite frequently, actually. I talked about this more in my alternate ways to use frag grenade video I did a while back, but you'd be surprised how many times I've actually used a frag to help pick up a fallen teammate. Obviously, it's not going to be quite as good as the revive grenade for that situation, but you are getting kind of a dual purpose out of it. So lastly, we have the utility slot, and we are going to be using C4, preferably 2 sticks. It's going to cost you 200 to be able to carry that 1 stick, and then another 500 certs to be able to carry both sticks of C4 at once, and it is awesome. It is definitely worth it. The one main thing that I really love about this class right now, and this is the only class that has this ability, is that I can heal myself and also use C4 at the same time. No other class can offer you that. And some people like to use med packs. I don't really see the need to as a medic. Sure, they might come in handy once in a while, but having that ability to take out vehicles and more importantly enemy maxes, that's what I find myself killing most often with my C4. It's just invaluable. I absolutely love it on medic, and that's part of the reason why I'm enjoying combat medic so much right now. So anyways, guys, to wrap it up, this is a more aggressive, combat-oriented combat medic loadout. This is probably not going to suit everybody. In fact, this is probably not going to be the perfect loadout for that many players out there. But if you find yourself wanting to play a little more aggressively, wanting to play a little more, have a little less downtime while you're playing combat medic, this might just be the loadout for you. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you have a completely difference of opinion. And if you like this video, if you enjoyed this video, please hit that thumbs up and subscribe if you have not already. And as always, guys, thanks for watching. I will talk to y'all later. There was a max over there.